Okay, so this is the really cool bag that I made. This has a different bottom to it. You can use this as a crossbody bag. It's actually reversible. I made these little tabs, which really are kind of covering up a part where I messed up. I should have made that a bit longer. But this is a really nice heavy duty bag. I'll show you in this video how to make the strap. You can make it longer. It can certainly be a crossbody bag. I just happened to make it shorter for the purposes of this video, and I was kind of sort of running out of time. But I think you'll enjoy making this bag. I do the bottom a little bit different than the usual way I do it. So you might find that easier. I don't know where I got this fabric from, but it's a burlap and it's really nice. And this bag, it can hold a computer. It's got a lot of space in there. You get a whole lot of stuff in this bag. So let's get started working on this bag. And of course, remember, you can find the pattern in my Etsy shop. Not very expensive. And there's a complete video tutorial, step by step, on how you can make this really cute, adorable bag. Okay? Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Okay, today I'm going to show you another crossbody bag. This is a different shape, and this blue is going to be the inside lining because I'm using this really pretty burlap as the exterior lining. And for sure, with something like a burlap, you have to use an interior lining for your bag. So I'm cutting 2 of these pieces for the outer bag, which means you've got to cut through a whole lot of fabric. So the most important thing is when you get to this corner, the bottom, which is the corner part of your bag, you've really got to take your time and cut so it looks real neat. And then just go ahead and cut all the way down to the end, do a straight line. And as you know, the thing that I love about my super easy bags, it's not a lot of cutting. It's not a lot of thought to it. It's just super simple and easy, so you can make a really nice bag in a fair amount of time with even basic sewing skills. So now I'm going to cut out this part, which is the inner opening of the bag. And I'm just going to cut straight up. Okay, so that is that. Real pretty. This is a nice canvas fabric. We got our shape. So if you noticed, I didn't cut this part off because I had measured this, pushed this all the way over to the end, which is why some of it's hanging off. So I'm just going to go ahead and take these pins out. Didn't need to use a whole lot of pins. And don't forget, sometimes you do need to iron your fabric and or wash it. Now this I've kind of had folded, so there's got a little bit of a crease in it. I don't think I'm gonna need to deal with that right now. I don't need to wash it. I don't need to fold it. Because this is burlap, you might, if you think you're ever gonna have to wash this bag, you might want to try with a scrap of it. I don't really know. I have not done that. And when you think about it, most purses, you're really not going to need to wash it unless it gets really banged up, messed up, dirty. So that's up to you. But it doesn't hurt if you wash a sample piece of fabric. And now see, I probably should have ironed this out flat because it's puckering, and that might cause a problem when I'm cutting. So iron your fabric, wash it if you have to, if you feel a need to. I just did a project the other day and I did wash all the fabric. It was a t-shirt project, so I wanted to make sure how the fabric would, how the t-shirt material would respond afterwards. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut this. And remember, because we're having round edges on this bag bottom, just want to cut. Make sure you cut that part really well. And then just straight up the line, straight up you go. Easy peasy. That's a nice straight line. Easy to cut. Not a whole lot of pieces you're going to have to match up. If you've done any of my other patterns before, you know that by now. That you can make something real pretty in a nominal amount of time with very basic skills. Basic sewing and cutting skills. So go ahead and cut round. I haven't tried to charge up my electric scissors today, but I think they need to charge overnight. So I'm just gonna have to cut this by hand. And I got a few more bags to do today, so hope my hand won't cramp up. So now we're just gonna take the take the pins out. Always sticking myself with pins. And let's see what we've got here. Set our pattern aside. Ooh, pretty. See if I can get out there. Pretty. That's gonna be nice. And then this is gonna be the inside lining. Now with these type of tote bags, you can actually, they can be reversible. Just depends on how you do your sewing. But I'm gonna go ahead and remember what we do. We take our two pieces, put them right sides together, and we're gonna stitch all the way around. Same thing with the other piece. Put our right sides together. Yeah. And that's our lining. So we're gonna go sew this together. We want to work on the straps, and we'll take it from there. So be right back. Okay, I really forgot to show you this part, but I'll go back and fix it. So in this pattern, you will see a V shape, and it's about 2 inches each in each direction. Yep, doesn't look like it, but it is. It's about 2 inches wide, because you need to make the bottom of your bag. And since we're not squaring it off, I like bags to kind of sit flat. So you're gonna have your two pieces that are like this, and you should have that little indentation. And you're gonna, as always, stitch up and down the sides there. Then we'll crunch this in, and we will have your little bag bottom. So, but I'll show you what I mean. Sometimes it's so much easier just to show you than to tell you. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is the crossbody bag. I think this is pattern number 25. So let me show you how the bottoms are going to look much different in some of my bags. Okay, so in this bag, you see how it has this little, it has a little indentation. When you're going to cut this piece out of the pattern and the fabric. So then you're going to take one of them. You need to do this step first and just fold and match these end pieces together. Okay. And then you're going to stitch right along the sides of each. Let me do that, and then I'll show you the difference. Okay. So in another one of my patterns, if you just stitch along the bottom, you'll have the bottom of your bag will be round, just like this, just straight up round. Okay. But when you put the little corners in it, you have a box that actually sits up. See, this will sit up. This kind of won't sit up, but this type of bag, it'll sit up by itself because you've made these little box corners, but they're box corners specific to a round purse round bottom purse without having to sew an extra gusset piece on there. So what I did, if you notice, see how it looks kind of squared up, and it will work out perfectly when you put the two bags together. So you're going to fold, when you cut out this indentation out of your fabric. So you've got that indentation cut out. Then you're going to match the right sides together and you're going to stitch along here. I highly recommend, oops, drop the camera. Okay, that was fun. Oh, and it's still ticking. It's still going. Okay, let's tighten that up. So, okay, you have this indentation, that you've cut in the bottom of your bag, bottom of your fabric. So you've got that indentation. Pin the right sides together, and you're gonna do a stitch straight along here. Do that to the other side, match it up, line it up, stitch straight across there. Then I'm going to show you what it looks like. Oh, I already have one that was finished. Sorry. This one I stitched there and I stitched there. See, there's your bottom of your bag. It's starting to have a little bit of a shape to it. Now, as soon as I finish the other piece, we're going to lay the right sides together and we're going to stitch all the way around the edges. Okay? Let me do that and show you. Okay, I'm back. So here's the other side, and now you've got two sections, and I'm going to put them right sides together. Okay? So you want to stitch all the way around here, all the way around here, all the way around to the top. And then we'll work on the handles in a minute. But remember, what you're aiming for is a bottom of your bag that looks like this, where it's a little flat, but then you've got your curved edges, and it's going to look really, really cute. And I'm going to save these two pieces because I'll make some little mini purses, coin purses out of this. But let me go stitch this together and show you the next step. Okay, and we're back. So you could see it kind of curls up a little bit here, has this little indentation, and that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and turn this bag inside out. Oh, because it's burlap, I did do a double stitch all the way around, and just to make it stronger. You don't want your bag coming apart. So reach in, turn it inside out, push out your little indentations there. Yeah, that's nice, right? Very nice. So now, literally, the bottom of your bag is about, I don't know, let's see, almost 4 inches across, 3.5, which is pretty good. Bottom of your bag, outside of your bag rather. Very pretty. So remember, we did the bag lining, and once again, this bag could be reversible. It's up to you. Let's see. Okay, so you now have two bags, but this is your lining and this is going to be your outer edge of your bag. What you need to do, and it's something I always forget to do, is leave an opening in the bottom of the lining, because you're gonna, once you stitch these two right sides together, you've got to reverse it. So if you didn't leave an opening in the bottom of the bag, that's actually okay, because you can just cut through it, or make sure you leave an opening in the bottom of the bag. So we're going to take our two bags and put them right sides together, and you're just bringing them into each other. As long as your right sides are together, you're doing good. So just, let's see. Make sure that gets in there. You want to line up your side seams and your edges. Push that in a little more. Line up your side seams and your edges. Okay, so remember, you got to line it up. But once you line it up, you're going to stitch it all the way around. Now we're going to do something with the straps in a minute here, but I just want to be sure. And I'm going to pin it so you on camera, you see this, what you need to do. Just pin it. Make sure everything lines up. Because if you don't, it's going to look weird. So just line those up. And line these up. If you've got a little bit of a overlap that you see, that's not a horrible thing, but you don't want to be seeing a whole lot of that. Same thing on this side, and same thing here. Ow, ow, ow. I knew I was going to grab for that, and that was going to happen. And pin it. Now you can use quilting clips as well. They're a whole lot less painful. Okay. And of course you do that to the other side, but you want to stitch all the way around here, a couple of stitches. Now remember, you need to have your bag opening in the bottom of the bag. You can take a seam ripper if you forgot to do it. Like I forever in a day, I always forget to leave a little opening in the bottom so I can flip the bag inside out. Because you never be able to flip the bag or pull it through the open strap pieces. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch this bag all the way around. Then I'm going to open this up. We'll flip the bag inside out and you'll see what it looks like. Okay, so you know I have other videos and I'm going to show you how to make the shoulder strap. If you making a crossbody bag, you probably want your shoulder strap to be at least 30 to 40 inches long. So you've got to measure across your body. Also, this bag, it's a little bit wider than some of our other bags that I put together. This is actually about a little more than 5.5 inches wide, this strap. But we're gonna do, yeah, so we need to make it fit. So you gotta think about that. This particular fabric is about 7.5 inches wide, which is fine. But I'm gonna show you how to make a little bit different strap. Now, shoulder strap. Now, in my other videos on my YouTube channel, you can certainly make the standard basic bag, and there are some instructions on the pattern itself. But what I'm going to do, I think I want to make a strap that's going to be a little bit shorter, and we're going to use that method that I showed you before. So this is going to be less like a crossbody bag, but more like a shoulder bag. Certainly a bag that you can put on your shoulder, a really nice tote bag. And once again, you know, I'm always making bags big enough that you can put a laptop in and sturdy enough that'll be able to handle it. Okay, so I've got my 2 pieces of fabric, and since I know I want this to be a bit wider to fit on there, I'm going to go do some stitching. I'm going to stitch this side. So let me do it and show you where I'm going with this. Okay, so it's entirely up to you at this point, the length of the shoulder strap or just general strap for your bag. If you're making a crossbody bag, you want to double the length of this. This, what I did is, it is 15 by about 20 inches. Let me get the tape measure so you will see. Okay, so on the pattern, it's going to tell you if you want a shoulder bag, shoulder strap, you need to make it longer than this. But I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter just to show you the method. So this is actually 22 inches long. So if you're making a crossbody bag, you need to maybe do this at 40 and not quite 44, but 40. If you do 44 inches, then you could tie the bag, the top of the strap as a knot. Okay. So now what I did, I had leftover pieces of fabric. And these pieces of fabric were approximately almost 7.5 inches long. So I stitched the two pieces together. Then I folded them once and ironed them. I used a whole lot of ironing on this. And then I just folded it over again. Because, and the purpose of doing this, let me put that back in that little seam there. Okay, the purpose of doing this is so you have a nice little seam on this end. And it has a really good professional finish. So since I only want this burlap on one side of the bag, I cut one piece, I folded it in. Let me zoom in a little more. Folded it in. And now I'm going to stitch all of this down. In my other video on how to make these straps, you can put a piece of quilt batting material, and let me see if I have some to show you. Okay, by sandwiching a piece of quilt batting in here, this will make that strap more comfortable for you. So I'm just gonna put a random piece in here, and you can do the same thing. And I'm still gonna go ahead and fold it in half. Ooh, feels softer already. And then I'm gonna put this layer back on top. And now I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch down this side, and then we'll work on attaching it to the bag. Okay? This is real easy. Okay, so I finished the strap, and let's see. We talked about the length and everything. I got a little pudgy piece here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the straps, and I am actually going to tuck it down into the bag here. I'm going to tuck that down and even it up, line it up as best I can. Then I'm going to fold this little flap in, and I'm going to fold that flap in. Take a quilting clip, just quilt it down, and then I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine and sew it down. And I'm going to do that for the other one. Now, you're going to have a piece here this is unfinished, but I'm going to show you a little trick for that. We're going to cover it with another piece of fabric, and it's going to look really nice. Once again, you want to, when you go over to the other side of your bag, you want to make sure that it's, there's no wrinkle in the bag, in the strap. And same thing, just going to turn that down a bit, turn it down, make sure it's even. And yeah, so that's easy peasy. So let me go over, stitch this down, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the strap attached to the bag. So now you can see it's really nice. Once again, this is a crossbody bag pattern, but I, for the purposes of this video, made the strap a little shorter, which is fine. you can obviously make yours whatever length you want. Now notice on the inside, I stitched about 4 or 5 stitches, these two pieces together on both sides, so your bag has a lot of, this bag has a lot of strength. It's not gonna come apart on you. I've actually bought bags in stores and the straps break, and that is so infuriating. Okay, so now to cover this section, although you can't quite see that here on camera, you can do a lot of little decorative things here. You could put some twine, rope, and I know I had some twine rope, I just can't find it. But what I actually did, I cut a piece of extra fabric, and because this is so many layers, my sewing machine was so mad at me. But what I'm going to do is I am just going to wrap this around this not necessarily attractive piece, and I just needed to cut to there. I need it to overlap a little bit, and then I'm going to use this strap for the other side. So what I can do, actually you can tuck that in one inside the other. Looks even better. Yep. So I can tuck that in, and that will be right there. Good to go. So it's going to cover that seam on the inside and the outside. And depending on how much glue you put and where you put the glue, you could use this maybe as like a little strap for your keys or something. But I'm just going to go ahead and use some glue. This glue does not come apart. Now this purse, if you start using glue or the hot glue gun, you're not going to be able to just throw this machine in, excuse me, you're not going to be able to just throw this bag in the washing machine like you could with some of the other bags. You would just have to spot clean it with whatever you have available. So I'm just putting some glue there, and I'm just going to lay this over. Now I'm going to just kind of press it down. I'm going to flip it over because I need to put glue on this side. And I like being able to show people how to do these types of bags without having to pretty much use anything other than sewing, fabric. That's pretty much it. You don't have to buy a whole bunch of fancy purse hardware and whatnot. But we'll get to that in some other videos. We'll go on to, I'll work on it at a different level. So like I said, I'm just going to tuck this in. And tuck them little corners in there. And tuck that in. Okay. So now, nice clean seam, right? Looking good. And remember, you'll be cutting this to the size based on your strap, the width, and what you did with it. So I'm just going to clamp that down. I'm going to let it dry. I think that looks really nice. It's like a little accessory. So I'm going to do one on the other side. Boy, I sure hope I made this long enough for the other side. I didn't, but I'm going to go with it because it's my bag. It's the one I made. Make sure you cut yours long enough. Don't do like I did and cut that too short. Oh, come on, glue. Come on. Okay, got that glue. I'm going to print that on there just like that. And remember, you can, this is your custom bag, so you can decorate it, make it as fancy schmancy as you want. And I need to go down, scooch it down just a wee bit because there's a seam there. You can barely see it, so it's not a big deal. So I'm going to press that down. And I cut a little short, came up a little short. That will happen to me because I'm showing you how to do it. But when you do it, make sure you cut to the right length for your this little decoration here. So then I'm just gonna fold it down, and I'm just gonna clamp it down. I want to make sure I get this video and this pattern out to you guys right away. So I'm just gonna clamp that. And when it's dry, we are done with this bag. It is super nice. Loving it. Loving it. Okay, I'm a little lopsided here. Okay, straighten that up a little bit. Yeah, cool. Nice, right? Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. I'm gonna come back, show you the bag, and we're done. So I hope you enjoy your bag. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe, check out my Etsy shop, Clothespin Dolls, and email me if you have questions. Bye.